What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and today we are taking a look at Shaolin, the new hybrid in the Wulin faction. So I was super excited to go hands-on with this guy because, I mean, he's basically a Shaolin monk. He is everything that is badass about Kung Fu movies exemplified into a character in For Honor, which is totally badass, and I am all about it. I mean, he's fast, he's precise, he eviscerates people, it's just... he's awesome. So to take a look at the moveset, similar to how we did with Tiandi, first thing I want to point out is that we have two stances. We have a key stance, and then of course we have regular stance. So I'm going to cover the regular stance moves first. For the regular stance, we have Relentless, which is our infinite chain, Death Point Strike, which is our triple tap, Flying Monkey, which is our unlocked, Monkey Trick, which is a backwards evasive move, and then we have some dodge heavies down at the bottom along with a deflect. Now, despite having a deflect as well as a temporary guard, we are in fact a hybrid, as you can see down in the bottom left. As for the infinite chain, you can end the infinite chain by doing two of the same move in succession. So light, heavy, it'll just keep going, but if I go light, light, you'll notice how I did 12 and then 18. That's ending the chain, ending the relentless. Similarly, if I do it with heavies, I go boom, and I do a 35 damage heavy. As for Death Point Strike, triple tap. And that is very similar to how you would do Sickle Rain with Shinobi or Bleed with the Peacekeeper. It is a tap, tap, tap. You can't just mash the button to get that out. Monkey Trick is a evasive attack, like that. Very similar to the Nobushi Poke. As for our side dodges, these are considered undodgeable. On top of that, it's worth mentioning that when you dodge to the left, the hit comes from the right. When you dodge to the right, it comes to the left. You can also dodge forward if you want as well. The forward one, of course, is not undodgeable, but it does 25 damage compared to the others that are only 20. In addition to that, if I them on this, we do have deflects with that dodge as well. So if you happen to be, trying to side dodge and you get a deflect off, you get an extra 5 damage out of it. If I can actually time one. I'm terrible at timing these things. There it is. Alright, let's see what else is there to show you guys. Oh, the zone attack, which is a 3-hit zone. Pretty nice. 10, 10, 20, and on top of that, it can be canceled at any time. We can cancel it after 1 hit, we can cancel it after 2 hits. Really nice to make sure you're not getting parried on your zone. That's probably the most irritating thing about zone attacks for me, is I get, parried on a zone. You're just like, oh man, that sucks. Last thing is our locked attack, which is that flying kick, which is going to be super irritating, I think, in Dominion, because I'm just going to do this shit to people until they're off a ledge. And the whole time, your dude's just, behold a miracle, behold a miracle, behold a miracle. Like, that is going to be so damn irritating to hear. Yo! Love it. So anyway, let's talk about key stance. That's the big grab with this character. So the way key stance works is, after you do a light or a heavy, you got to hold that button down, you'll enter key stance. Very similar to how you would with offensive stance as Highlander. However, whereas offensive stance you can move all around, key stance is quite literally like a stance. It's a pose. You're not moving. From key stance, you can do lights, you can do heavies, or you can do kicks. The way it would work is you would either release the button you want or press it. And what I mean by that is if you went into key stance with the light attack, you'd release light attack to do a light attack. Alternatively, if you went in with light attack and you're holding right bumper, you would tap heavy to do a heavy attack to get out. Our light attacks all have superior block. On top of that, doing the regular one, it has stun, which is nice to see. Doing the heavy attacks, we have undodgeable going side to side or unblockable going forward. And then as for the sun kick, we can follow that up with a quick tap, we can follow it up with an unblockable sweep, or we can follow it up with an unblockable heavy. So definitely some variety. My personal favorite here is the damage that we get from doing the crushing counter-strike. Especially because it's, boom, 40 damage crushing counter-strike. One of the strongest attacks in Shaolin's arsenal here. 40 damage. From top, it's going to be 35. But your two heaviest hitting attacks are going to be that 40 damage crushing counter strike, and then the key stance heavy attack, which unfortunately I did not get out right there. But just to show that one to you, if you... Boom! Look at that, 40 damage. And then once again, the crushing is 40. So those are your heavy hitters. As for the other attacks, the heavy attacks, I want to say they were 25. We'll do them right now real fast. Yep, they're the undodgeables, and similar to before, they do the 25 damage. As for the kicks are fun. Boom! Get her health back up. So 20 stamina damage, and then 20 with a top light. 20 stamina damage, and then 35 with the top heavy. Or that into a sweep, and then of course from there you can just get abusive. So I mean, all in all, really diverse moveset with him. Definitely a lot to like with this character. I think he's gonna be a lot of fun to play for sure, based on how much flexibility you have in your moveset. You know, whether you're gonna kick somebody, you have knockback abuse via the kick right there and the key stance. You have superior block, which is always nice. You know, that's the one thing that's going to be interesting, is people that want to sit and just wait for the key stance. Because if you're in key stance and no one wants to do anything, all you can do is just dodge out or hit A to cancel. But you know, there's no way to force them to attack you. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to just sit there and get hit in the face with a crushing counter strike from key stance, which is understandable. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I just hope that it doesn't make Shaolin too much of a you know, kind of the same situation Warlord has, where a Warlord goes into all block and people just sit there and they avoid him, or they just, you know, play purely reactionary to it. But we do have the undodgeables, which, so I mean, regardless, you know, level 3 peacekeepers are pretty annoying, and you can see that the undodgeable is cleaning house against this freaking bitty. Where's she at? Gotcha.
Behold, miracle. Behold, miracle. Behold, miracle.
Are you guys witnessing this abuse? Oh, she fainted. I can also do that shit. Get out of here. Now, I don't want to say that we get a safe top heavy from parry, but we might get a safe top heavy from parry, because PK has some pretty damn fast recovery. She ain't gonna let that shit happen. Ah, the worst feeling to bleed out. Alright, either way, let's take a look at the feats. Show you just what Shaolin is capable of after I beat her down one more time. Right into the guard break. Winner. So, taking a look at the feats, definitely got some interesting stuff going on here. So first up we have Key Trap, which sets a trap that reveals the enemy's position. And I saw this one a couple times when I was playing Breach, and what it does is they put down a trap, and when the enemy runs past it, it alerts them. It lights them up and creates a silhouette of them on the map, kind of how the Scout works, the Scout mechanic for the Valkyrie and Huntress. But a really interesting choice, you know, just more awareness. I think that'll work out well in Breach. I'm not sure if I'd use it in Dominion, but you know, let you know if somebody's coming up behind the base or whatever. Stealth, which I always like stealth. Stealth is so nice to have, so I'd probably go for that. And then of course Iron Lungs, where you can sprint when you're out of stamina. Always a decent pick. I'm moving on to 2, Blink. Shift behind a locked enemy and perform a sun kick. This is honestly fucking ridiculous. I had people doing this to me in Breach, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Because you literally teleport. Like, I mean, we joke, like, you know, about how Shinobi is the weeaboo and Shinobi with his teleports. No, you quite literally teleport and kick them in the back of the head. It's amazing. Moving on from there, Winner's Advantage, though. Obviously, there's going to be some really strong synergy for this in his kit. I use this on Highlander, and I like it there. I think it would work equally well with Shaolin. And then our last one, Thick Skin, also a pretty decent one to pass up. You know, moderate damage reduction every 3 seconds. Basically, if you take a hit, the second one's getting reduced. So I think this is going to be the hardest here to decide between. All 3 of these are really, really nice choices, which I like to see. You know, I hate it when you get to feats and there's one that's the clear winner and the rest are all trash. I think all 3 of these are viable. Invigorate, heal nearby enemies when landing stits from key stance. Now, I don't know how much heal it's going to be, but this obviously has the potential to be a bit sexual in Dominion, I think. Definitely curious to see how much that heal is. Heal on block. Something that I did not expect to see on this character, though, and it is interesting because it's, you know, we can heal allies or we can heal ourselves, which is really going to play into that team dynamic, I think. And then, of course, we have innovate, gaining stamina on successful hits. Definitely a nice one to see after seeing how effective that's been on the Shinobi. Our final tier, backup, shift to an ally. Absolutely crazy. It lets you just teleport like across the battlefield to someone who needs help. Huge, huge potential for this in things like Dominion or Breach. I mean, the backup potential is going to be off the charts. Aside from that, Slippery, which I'm not really a big fan of Slippery. I don't feel it's that important. And then, of course, Scout, always a decent choice, marking every enemy on the map with March for Death and forcing them to appear on the radar. So definitely a really nice kit here. I think we're going to see some very offensive and defensive options coming out of this character. I mean, we have things like Shift to support your team, or we have Scout, which is, you know, here's where the enemy's at, let's go kill them. So definitely some good flexibility. I mean, either way, between his moveset and you know, the different levels of feats we have available, I think he definitely is going to have a place in the Dominion meta right now. You know, probably even more so than Tiandi. While Tiandi has a very, you know, kind of dodge and heal type playstyle, personally, I think the positioning and things like Blink and Shift, I think those are going to be really, really potent to this character. I mean, you know, you think about it, you're in a 1v3 and you need help, and a teammate basically teleports to you. That's huge. Either way, guys, we're going to wrap up this video here, showing off Shaolin. As for the other 2 heroes, I do not have access to them yet, but hopefully Ubisoft will give me access down the line a bit, and we'll be able to show them off. Definitely excited to see what Papa Wanyu is like. But either way, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you next time in For Honor.